Was it safe hitchhiking?
Yeah, it's pretty safe. I mean,
What was your first experience? Like, where do you decide that, like, today is going to be the day I'm just going to be picked up by a random person?
well, I got really into like hobo culture, like stick and bindle
Yeah.
railroad culture, and also like the traveling hippie culture of the '60s. So I was like reading a bunch of those books, like Jack Kerouac style stuff. I never read On the Road, but like similar stuff. Like this guy Ed Byrne had a book called Vagabonding in America that was about how to make money as a traveling hitchhiker across the U.S. by doing like day jobs. So obviously you can't really work day jobs anymore. Like that's old. Yeah, it's all dead and gone. Like under the table work and mopping floors is out. But hitchhiking, I figured that it was still doable to some capacity, and in some capacity. And this dude David Cho, who's an artist, he had a show on Vice called Thumbs Up America, and I was like, oh, if this guy can do it, and he went from Alaska to Tijuana in like 2 weeks. I was like, if he can do it, I can definitely do it. So I started off just going from New Orleans to Seattle, where I grew up, and just going from there and back up and down the West Coast all the time.
How long does it take to get picked up? Because I've tried hitchhiking one time, and I was out there for probably like 6 to 8 hours. It was me, and maybe this is different if I'm with someone, but I was with my friend, and it just didn't work. Finally, someone did pick us up, and then he like dropped us off at a gas station, said he would be right back, and then left.
Damn, that's f***ed up. That happened to me one time.
We paid him too.
You paid him? How much?
$20.
Oh.
He said he said he would drive us. It wasn't far. He said he would drive us. It was about an hour. Yeah. And then he drove us like 15 minutes, went to a gas station. He's like, I have to run a really quick errand. I'll be right back.
Where
and
in the country was this?
This was in Mesquite.
Mesquite, Nevada.
Yeah.
Okay, where the lived. Stephen Paddock.
Maybe there's
if he existed.
This.
Anyways, yeah, it really depends what state you're in. Like certain states have a hitchhiker traveler culture. Like on the West Coast, if you're trying to take the 101 from like Washington down the Oregon coast, bro, you're good. You can get picked up the whole way. Colorado, you're good. New Mexico, maybe. But then you go to certain states like Arizona and Nevada, Second Amendment, like my property, ass states, you know what I mean? Like you're not going to have much luck. The southern U.S. is the hardest place to hitchhike though. Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi.
Why is that?
I don't know. I have no clue.
What type of person picks somebody up? Because I feel like there's an element of risk that the person you're picking up, once they're in the car with you, kind of difficult to get them out. And then there's that awkwardness.
It's either migrant workers who think you're trying to travel for work, like Christian fundamentalists who are like trying to do the right thing and like spread the word of God, or maybe they have a kid who's addicted to drugs and they think you're addicted to drugs. And the third most common person is just people who never shut the f up. You know what I mean?
They just need to hear to listen.
Yeah. They see you and they're like, oh my God, I'm going to tell them about everything. You know what I mean? And that most hitchhiking is just someone talking about themselves.
What's the craziest thing you've heard?
Well, you know how they have in Utah, they have Mormons who have like 8 or 9 wives. I got picked up by a pharmacist in Utah who unfortunately, or I guess fortunately for me, broke HIPAA law and told me about all the different prescriptions that this dude's wives were picking up every day. And she said, so she took care of all of the prescriptions for all of his 9 wives. And she just said that like they're all taking like Prozac, Xanax, Klonopin, Oxycontin like every day. And they're just like living in this drug-fueled, depressive, polygamous state.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Do you think that's just because they're really unhappy, or because they're like, this is more of a recreational sort of like, I'm living my life?
It's got to be option one. I think monogamy is the way to go. I think polygamy is fundamentally like against human nature.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't think I could ever hitchhike. I think I would just be terrified, and I don't like small talk.
Okay,
So,
that's going to be the biggest thing. I mean, that's the biggest danger.